Let's do something different today. I wanted to talk about how I ended up in this spirituality space. You will hear some dogs sometimes. It's just part of what happens in this building. Sometimes some dogs will bark, but I think it adds to the atmosphere of it all. You will also hear birds sometimes. What I wanted to share this time is different. It's my personal story, which I'm not used to doing. This is the first time I'm actually like sitting down to talk about like my own human story. But I'm really excited to do it, and I feel ready to do it because I think it will contribute to. I think it makes sense, and adds it adds a layer to the stuff that I talk about on here, right? Because we can talk about manifestation and we can talk about the things that we dream of as much as we want, right? Like we can talk about being unlimited as much as we want. We can talk about things already being done and us being on our highest timeline as much as we want, right? But then there's some magic to how the human story unfolds, right? And I really wanted to share my own testimony, my own testimony of my own practices, and really what I had talked about in a different video. The reason why we don't always stay in this truthful space, the reason we don't always stay in the like, I am okay and things are going to be okay, and I'm going to have everything I want and everything I dream of and desire. Like, the reason we don't always stay right here is because we get trapped in the human story, right? We get scared. We get trapped in the negativity that can sometimes be there with being human, right? Because it comes with both sides. This world comes with both sides, but you get trapped in the human story and the scared human stage, right? And my scared human stage lasted a long time, guys. It lasted a long time. Like the first thing I remember around this spirituality manifestation topic is actually like I was maybe 18 and I had a journal and I was writing down some stuff that I wanted to have. And so it started pretty early, but I'm 28 now. So it's been 10 years. And I honestly think it's been 10 years of me calming down my scared human, of me calming down my story, the parts of it that were really scary and negative. Because I kept having these things that I wanted that came up in my head. I kept having like the phases where I would actually like strive for it and put effort towards it, and like even the whole persist in it and like really trying to make it like the one thing that I focus on. I had these phases of going in and out of this manifestation world. But the truth is, you never stop manifesting. It's bigger than that. You never stop creating, you never stop being the creator of your own reality. But I just had a bunch of phases where I was in the doubtful stage, in the scared, doubtful stage. So I truly understand. It was 10 years there, right? And obviously not consistently because you have different moods. Like I would go through different moods, different stages, phases where I believed the stuff that I talk about now, and phases where I believed it less. So the doubt, the fear, and the worry are very real. And those moments of disconnect, that weight from our scared human story, they really are the only you and your story and the negative meaning you give to it are really the only thing that would be holding you back from the stuff you want, right? And it really is the truth, because in the path, like in the process of me going after the stuff that I wanted, I ended up coming across all of these old identities that I had that needed calming down, that needed a serious case of calming down and being let go of. And it has truly only clicked recently, like just how like this is where the magic happens, is in quieting down and calming down around the human story. Because truly, this phase where you're reacting to things and you're reacting to your life, this is the phase that needs controlling, that needs learning. This is the phase that needs attention. And this is truly like the gap that you need to close, because there's never a problem with your desires. There's never a problem with you and having the things you want. There's only a problem in you thinking that there's problems. There's only a problem in you thinking that you're not worthy of these things, right? So I went on this journey of truly learning, like intrinsically, and having to teach myself that I am worthy of these things. And there were so many stories that just kept falling away, so many things that I had to calm myself down through. And it really, this is the game. This is the game. It's the game of you have these things you want that will require a different version of you, that will require you being an energetic match for them, right? And yet things come up that don't feel like an energetic match for it, because you lived a long time in your old identity. You were in a lower vibrational state. So things that you created from that state keep popping up, right? One programming that I really like held on to, that I realized very recently, like just how strong the programming goes, and just how, at the same time, how magical this process is, because you get in your lower energy moments, right? And then you grab onto the negative, miserable stories of this place, right? You grab onto all these scripts for how things should be and things should look like. And then it's a serious process later on when you're ready to move on from them. It's a serious process of calming these down. So, for example, a huge process that I had going on was around I realized only as an adult that this was the biggest process going on. But one of my big ones was around the role that I had as a kid in my family, and the role that as a kid, the role that I envisioned as an adult, who I thought I would become as an adult, and what I thought that meant, and what I thought it had to be, right? Because I always had these two things. I always had the truth. I always knew about these things. I always knew the truth. I always knew that things were made out of love. It was so strong in me. I always knew that I was capable of anything, and everything was possible for everyone, and everyone was made up of love. I understood these things very early in life. At the same time, I grabbed onto this story that was actually just borrowed from my parents, from my environment. I grabbed onto this story of who I should have been, right? I grabbed onto the story where, like the programming where I had to be excellent at things. I had to be great at being a student. I had to be great at the things that I wanted to do creatively. I had to be excellent. I had to make it, and I had to figure out a way to make it, and I had to achieve this and that, and I had to have this and that, and I had to do all of these things because in this role that I grabbed onto, I had the weight on me of having to fix all my family issues. Like no one put them there except myself. Like it might have felt at times Like the truth was someone was telling me, yes, you have to fix our problems, but that it's my reality. And I have a responsibility over the story that I told myself. I told myself the story that I had to save my mom, basically, that I had to save that I had to save the abusive household that I grew up in, right? That I had to first save myself from it and then somehow be able to save them too, right? So even though I always grew up with such a strong idea of like, everything is going to be okay, things are going to work out for me, I'm worthy the way I am, then I had this other, like, I had this traumatized, hurt kid, whatever you want to call it. I had this narrative, the programming in me of, well, yeah, in order to find peace, so this is the programming, right? In order to find peace and happiness with what my life looks like and what these circumstances are, the only way I can envision that is if I do something extraordinary. Like I become this extraordinary person and I'm able to make an extraordinary amount of money and I'm able to achieve extraordinary things. And then from there, like, I'm getting emotional because the stuff is emotional. from there, I'm able to fix everything in the world. Like, this is how the programming gets you, right? From there, I'm able to fix everything that's wrong with me, everything that I got taught is wrong with me, and I'm able to fix them as well. So like, I get to achieve this thing that I've always wanted to achieve. I get to look at their lives and I get to give them what I think they need. I get to find the fix. If only I was extraordinary, then I would achieve extraordinary things. You see how the narrative gets written? If I was extraordinary, I would do extraordinary things. I would achieve extraordinary results. And then from the results, from the money, from whatever it is, I would then be able to transfer the results of this chase onto them. And I would be able to like give them the money and the resources I found and the solutions I found. I would be able to give it to them and have a fix for them, right? So I would be able to save myself from the ordinary of it all. I would be able to achieve something great, and then I would be able to give it to them, right? And I would fix their lives. See, just a story, literally a story. A story. Why? Because I was a kid. We all were. Because I was a kid and because I was scared. And this is the story I started to write, right? In my room, in whatever situation, at school, whatever. It was okay, if only I was excellent at this thing, and whatever it was, whether it was like a piano class, which I actually never had, a guitar class, maybe, whatever was in front of me. Oh my God, if I was excellent at this thing, if only I was like perfect at this thing, then I would achieve this like, this extraordinary result. And then I would get these magical powers, these magical solution powers, and I would fix the insecurities I feel over myself, and I would fix their lives. And then everything would be perfect. And then I wouldn't have to worry about anything ever again. Right? So we write these stories. Then you grow up and you realize. Then you grow up, time passes, you move through things, right? And in my case, I achieved other things so like not directly related to this result, but I had a few things that I wanted. Okay, I want to move to this city and I want to have a room there. And I remember like writing down in my journal, okay, please help me find a room there that is good for me. I get the room. I get the job that was in my head. I get then the room wasn't enough and I wanted a house on my own. Then I get the house on my own. And then I get this, and then I get that. And it doesn't feel the way I thought it would feel. I'm sure a lot of us can relate. Then it doesn't feel the way I thought it would feel. And then I realize, wait, hmm, maybe there's more to it. Maybe there's more to it because then I realized, maybe it's because I didn't actually want these things and I put other things in my head, right? But the process that I put myself through, the process of calming down and the process of non reaction, then brought me unexpected results because then I kept realizing there has to be more to it, right? There has to be more to it because not only did those things not feel exactly the way I thought they would feel, but also the chase was absolutely exhausting. Like the chase was just, it wore me down. And then you realize it's because I never actually, these were never the things that I actually wanted. Interesting. These were never, I never actually wanted to be stuck in the chase. I never actually cared about where I live. And this is the absolute truth for me. Like, this is the absolute truth. I never actually cared about where I live or how much money I have. See, again, the two, I never actually cared. I just wanted to be happy and I wanted to be able to find love for myself unconditionally. And then the only thing that kept getting me trapped was the other identity going like, oh no, but we need these things. But I need to see the money and the thing that I had in my head. I need to see it, right? Another one was just how I look, just my appearance. Another big narrative was that one because I kept writing like I had the version that was actually my truth, which was I don't actually care what I look like. I don't actually care because I always knew if I feel good and if I feel love for myself and I feel loved and I feel okay with the way I am, I would have no reason to overeat. I would have no reason to harm myself. I would have no reason to not like myself. So I always knew that this was the truth. And then I had the other narrative, the other identity, whatever story going, no, but if I had looked better, my parents would have treated me better. But if I had looked better, maybe I would have had more success on social media right away. You see how ridiculous these stories go? If I if I had looked, if I had had the physical appearance that I always wanted to have, then, right? I always knew that I wanted to teach myself unconditional love because I always knew that that was the fix. I knew this. I understood these things very young. But then the story of the human kept telling me, no, no, that's not enough. That's not enough. So even as I kept finding like more calming down in my life, more love for myself, more peace with the things I had and the things I didn't have yet, even as I kept finding a home in myself more and more, it's like the other side would just consistently go, but wait, but wait, what about this other thing? Like it would, waves of disappointment and insatisfaction, this dissatisfaction, one of those, would consistently hit me, like consistently. Because even though I knew that what I had was enough, this other version, this old identity just kept going. Are we sure though? Are we sure this is enough? Because we haven't achieved the thing that we always thought we would achieve. We haven't seen the outcome that we spent all those years waiting for. We haven't seen the fix. You haven't found the fix. So how can you be happy? So how can you just stop there? How can you just give up if you spent all these years dreaming and fantasizing of these things that you would see, right? And then and then the more you calm down, the more you truly stick to being non-reactive, the more you see the lies, because you see how ridiculous that even sounds. Like, you see how ridiculous the sound of that is. It's truly like just lies. It's just lies, because it starts to hit you like, what else would there be except for my happiness right now? What else is there to chase? Right? And then I was able to find calm. I was able to find this constant calming down, because I also put myself in like an intense spiritual practice that lasted, like, this is maybe year 3 of seriously doing it. What then became the practices that I share here, which they were inspired by Kira. She's Kira Manifest Faster on Patreon. Yes. I spent I stuck to the program, okay, which means don't react, which means knowing that the stuff you want is done and you just have fun with whatever is going on in your life right now. This is the stuff that she shares. And I listened to that, and I really put that practice in. And then the practice of it kept showing me, wait, I've actually been practicing this stuff forever. This actually matches the way I've always thought about these things. And the more I kept practicing it, the more I kept finding my own language for these topics and my own practices. But it was 2 years of intense do not react. Do not react, okay? Understand that what you want is done. Stop reacting to the things you don't want. And that very simple teaching I really put into practice. And from there, everything started to click. And then it started to click, oh, I want to talk about these things, because actually I've been thinking about these things and loving this topic of reality forever, right? But again, I was stuck in the scared human stage. And I hadn't yet like fully accepted the positivity, right? The dreaming that you can find, the love that you can find, right? So I was putting these things into practice, and really that's what got me here. Really, Kira and her practices in the beginning, and just sticking to it every day, sticking to it. Whatever you want is done. Do not react. Do not react to what you don't want. Keep moving. Like, keep moving. Relax, have fun. It's done. It's her slogan. Truly kept doing that for so long and consistently, and I meant it. Like, I actually applied myself, and I kept working through a lot of these narratives. See, so again, these two sides, I kept working through them one at a time. Like, it was like checking off a list, right? So what I thought were like, when these stories would come up, like these negative belief systems, when they would come up, I was actually able to stop reacting to the situation, take the time to go internal, go and quiet myself down. And every time it would show me something new. So I was able to move on from pretty much everything, like pretty much all these tiny little stories that had been built from the fear, right? That had been built from the insecurity, from the not feeling worthy, from the not really knowing what to do with yourself, from also at the same time wanting to be able to achieve this and this and that. Like, all of those stories I worked through intensely. Like, being on social media for me is already a huge win. Like, that one brought up a very interesting like fight within these two identities too, because the way I was wiring myself, right, with the negative belief system, the way I was wiring myself for external validation was insane. And then to be hit with to make up this world in my head in which I would start doing the videos and things with, but like I'm sharing this so that you can also hear how ridiculous the programming is, because I was in that narrative. It was like, okay, I'm going to put out the video and everyone's going to love me, and I'm going to get so much external validation for this thing, and one more time I'm going to be so great, I'm going to be extraordinarily great, and everyone is going to flock to me. And then you see, we're bringing up my little kid again, because I'm going to be great. I'm going to be so great and so extraordinary that and achieve these extraordinary results, and then I'll be able to fix my life and my parents' life, and then I'll be fine. And then that will be the fix, right? And then I just kept dragging things into this world, into this narrative, like the social media, the whatever creative thing I wanted to do. It didn't matter. Everything got sucked into this narrative. And the social media was another one, like just showing you an example of what it sounds like when you're writing that negative script. Like to have that negative script, and then to have that chase, right? To have the fear of not being enough, but also the want to be more than enough, because for a lot of people, it's also that one. I can testify to that. For a lot of people, it's not, it's just, it's, I should have been superhuman. Like, I should have put out that first video, and everyone on the planet should have come flocking to my channel, and everyone should have told me how much they love me and how much they want to hear what I'm saying. You see? You see how ridiculous it gets? Right. So I kept calming down through these stories, and just the more I would post videos, the more I would also realize, wait, no, this is not the truth. Again, just lies, negative patterns that need calming down from. Just lies, because I'm posting the video and I'm finding my own version of success. For me, my success with the things that I make on this channel, truly, I just wanted to create content that was purely positive. I wanted to talk about the stuff that I was always interested in, yes, but I wanted it to be reminders of the truth. I wanted to be a positive example and a positive reminder. I didn't want to start the camera and speak from my scared stages, from the stages where I was doubting anything. I wanted to find my center, my truth, and to share only positivity, to remind everyone else of what it sounds like and what it is. So as I kept doing that, I realized, wait, but I'm successful in my own way. See, again, I'm successful in my own way. I love what I do. I'm loving the videos I'm making. Why is this other side of me screaming at me that it's not enough? That not enough people saw it, that not enough people liked it, because it's not fixing the whole. Because it's not actually doing the thing that I wanted it to do, right? In this version of the narrative, because what sense does that even make? All that there is you're just being you, you're enjoying your life. What else, what more would you want from it, right? Right? So kept calming down through that too, and realized, wait, I'm actually already doing exactly what I think is successful on this social media thing. I'm doing exactly what I want to do. That's perfect. What? That's perfect. And then I kept finding these truths around every little thing in my life. Like, just kept finding more of this side, more of the, wait, things are perfectly okay in terms of how I think about them. I want to give myself unconditional love. That's always what I needed back home. That's always what I needed from, that's always what was actually missing from the story. I wanted to be able to find unconditional love for myself, and I found it in a million different ways. So why am I being dragged back? One more time, it's the scared human and the stories that it holds on to. Because why am I being dragged back? Right? And I kept calming myself down. I kept learning more and more. And then at the same time, like having goals and desires and things never really made sense to me, but then I understood. I understood why from continuously calming down again. I kept understanding why I would sometimes doubt the stuff that I say, why I would doubt that I can deserve things and be happy no matter what, right? What would ever make me doubt that? The final story that really has just clicked in recently was that, okay, let me use my let me volunteer my life story again to explain how this manifestation stuff goes, right? Because what kept bringing up a lot of doubt and fear in me was the fact that I had this thing that I wanted, and I kept being trapped in the moments where I didn't feel like it was true, right? I kept seeing evidence of the opposite. We're gonna get into why that's not really a thing. Kept seeing evidence of the opposite, and kept tricking myself into this is not working because I don't have this thing, right? So my thing was, only just realized that this was actually the thing that was running underneath all those other programs. It was never the way I look. It was never the stuff it was never the stuff that I like to do, that I dreamed about doing. It was funny enough, never any of that. It was something that felt underneath all those layers, right? So mine was, I want to see my parents happy, healthy, and thriving, right? This was my thing. And I ran into a lot of evidence of the contrary. I ran into a lot of evidence of them not being happy. But one more time, I want this thing, right? And I'm living in my reality. I want this thing that actually has to do with other people that are not me, right? So that's that's exactly where we're gonna start. I want this thing that actually has to do with other people, right? So first you have to understand, and I have to understand because I'm talking about me. First, I had to understand they have their reality going on, right? I'm not responsible for their reality. They have their reality, and in their reality, they have agency over what they're doing, right? What I realize is this thing that I want, actually, I want it in my reality because I can't change theirs. They have free will in their reality, and they're perfectly loved and supported in whatever they want to do, right? But I have my reality. I have my reality, and I realize in my reality, I want this thing. I want this thing. So how do I do that, right? Because this is what kept tricking me. This is what kept tricking me into thinking, no, it can't work. Manifestation can't work for everything. I can't just be happy because this thing is not here yet. And then you realize, hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Okay. Hold on a minute. Okay. This is my reality, right? This is my reality where I get to build my story and I get to create the things I want. In my reality, I wanted to see this thing happening, right? And every single time I saw evidence of something that didn't feel like this, I would freak out. But just because I'm seeing and I'm living through things that affect me, the things that scare me, things that make the human me, the child me, freak out, right? Things that make me doubtful. It's because things are happening where I'm not seeing this as possible. I'm like, how do we go from whatever whatever is playing out in front of me to this, right? But then this process teaches you, hold on, I'm actually asking for something in my reality. And my reality is all about me, right? And my reality is all about my truth and how I want to live. I'm asking for this thing because I want to feel the way I would feel if I had this thing. Because it's all about, if my reality is about me, my reality is about me, and I'm telling this story. I want this thing because I want how it will make me feel. How would this make me feel? It would make me feel peaceful. It would make me feel like I have reached my final destination. It would make me feel at peace and happy. Right. And then, after having spent 10 years in this space and learning everything I had learned, then it was clear to see, wait a minute. See, now I'm so much, 10 years of calming down, of putting into practice, like not reacting to things, really truly calming down and seeing the truth over and over and over again. Then I'm able to see it. Oh, okay. This thing is not different than literally anything else. I could be asking for a coffee tomorrow. I could be asking for a new rug in my apartment. The stories are all the same. And it only hit me once I was actually able to become calm enough as a person. And once I was able to calm down the scared kid that just couldn't wait to see this, right? Only until I calmed down enough did I see it for what it is, which is just another story. There's nothing that special about it. It's just another story. It's just another story with just two characters in my life. It only has the weight that I give it. I gave it this enormous weight because I kept building on it my entire life, because it felt very heavy, because it felt very dominant. This thing in itself is just a script. It's just a story. It's on the same importance level as everything else, meaning it's just an experience. I'm asking for an experience. I'm asking for an experience of things being okay. How do I reach the experience of things being okay? I have to behave as if things are already okay. Why? Because it's energetics. I'm asking for this thing that I want that's going to make me feel great. So I have to get myself to match it, right? I'm asking for this thing because I want to feel better. It's not actually because I want the thing. It was never the thing. It was never the thing. And now I can say that and know it. It doesn't matter what the story is. It was never the thing. I'm asking for the thing because I want to feel like what this thing would make me feel like. What I actually want is to be peaceful and happy. So what makes this thing different than any other thing? Why would I want furniture in my apartment? Because it makes me feel peaceful and happy. Why would I want a relationship? Because it makes me feel peaceful and happy, because it makes me feel like me at my best. Anything I ask for, anything we want is just us at our best. It's just us. It's just us at a higher frequency level. It's just us because we're dreaming through a human lens about these things that would be great. Actually, what we're dreaming about is being in that frequency state. It's being able to live. We want that experience that's all the way up here because we want to feel like we're all the way up here. Because we want to feel this high. Because we want to feel this happy and this peaceful and this amazing. There's nothing else to it. There's actually nothing else to it. You want these things, whatever the things are, because they are you in your best life. They are you at your highest possible state. They're you. And I have been screaming these things for so long in the videos, in the content that I make. And then it starts from me first. I'm the first person to practice my practices. I am the first person putting in the work. I am the first person working through every single little thing that I can. And then I have the balls to sit here and tell everyone else what to do. But it's because I did it first. It's all coming from my own realizations, my own practice. So as I kept listening to my own advice, then it clicked for me at a level that I didn't even expect it to click for me. Truly, what else would there be? It's just you wanting to experience the things that are you. That's it, the things that are you. And you're so excited about them feeling amazing because they are on your highest timeline. They're meant to be you at your highest possible state. Like, there's nothing else to it. There's nothing else to it. And it took a serious dose of calming down to be able to apply this to every situation I ever had in my life. Because again, the programming for the type of story that I told you guys is so strong. It's so strong. And we were all put under strong programming. Like, how could I be in an environment where abusive, violent things are happening and not want to help and not want to fix it, right? These human stories get us because they feel so serious. They feel so real. And I'm the first person to know how real they feel, how scary they feel. I'm the first person to know. I am one of many people that know. Let's say it that way. I am one of many people that know how scary this world is, how much it gets to you, how much it gives you pain, how much it makes you doubt, how much it makes you scared. I'm also someone that knows how to calm down that fear because I've had to do it. Because I've had to do it consistently. I had to calm down my fear consistently for the longest time. And I would do it all again. Not a complaint. I would do it all again just to reach the stage where I know, and I'm so sure of what I'm saying, where I know that this world is not fear-based. The truth is not fear. The truth is love. The truth is not our negative patterns. The truth is love. The truth is not us harming each other. Those are things that happen when we disconnect from the truth. Those are things that happen because we forget how loved we are. All of those things that I can say this for my life because this is my life, my reality, my truth. And I got closer and closer to it the more I calmed down. In my truth, my reality, the way I explain all the bad stuff, the way that makes sense to me, and how I've seen that reality works, but it's my reality, my truth. The way I've seen it is that every time, like, these bad things start to be created because we disconnected from love, because we don't feel good about ourselves, because we're in pain, because we're suffering from the disconnect, from not feeling worthy and not feeling loved. Then you go on to create more of these things, and these things affect everyone else, right? We're sharing this human experience, right? At the same time, though, there was never anything to fear because these things come out of us not understanding that there's nothing to fear. These bad things that I went through, that happened to me, I can look at them in my reality, in my belief system, and I can say those were created out of disconnect. Whether it was me, whether it was someone else, whether it was at a society level, whether it was at a collective level, the way I look at it is Those were things that were created out of disconnect. And I'm here now in this life, same way as everyone else. And I get to decide, do I want to create out of, do I want to live as this person that's scared and afraid? Or do I want to live out of what is my truth? My truth is that everything is love. It's that everyone has access to divine love. It's that everyone is equally loved and supported on their journey. And it's my truth is that everyone and their love for themselves, that's where it starts. That's my truth. My truth is that it starts from you being able to teach yourself how to go back to this love and to teach yourself unconditional love so that you can keep choosing to work from this space, to keep creating from this space, to keep creating from truth, right? My truth is that the truth exists and it can be chosen. My truth is that hope exists and it can be chosen. Peace exists and it can be chosen. This is what I know, and this is what I choose, right? And the more you calm down, the more you're able to make these choices that fit your reality and the way you work, right? And the things that you believe in, right? And it has been the journey, the journey. I would do it all again. Truly, I would repeat it 10,000 times just to get to this result of being able to teach myself unconditional love and being able to keep choosing to live out of this, to live out of, I can be okay and I can be peaceful no matter what, whether I have this thing that I wanted in front of me, whether I don't, whether I look the way I always wanted to look, whether I don't, whether I have the success on social media or I don't, whether I have this thing I wanted or I don't, does not matter to me. Because what I understand and what I believe in my truth is that whether this thing is here for me to think about and fantasize, or whether I have it or I don't have it, does not matter. Does not matter. What matters is how I feel. What matters is how connected to myself I can feel right now. And those things are a result of this to me. That's my truth. These things, this is how I understand reality, which is why I'm here to share it. These things are a result of me being able to be happy and peaceful and free. And then all these things will show up, and I actually do not care, me personally, do not care if they show up or not. My practice, my truth is what matters to me. Me finding my own love, my love for myself, my truth, my peace, time and time again, no matter what is happening in front of me, that is how I live my life. That's my truth. That's how I want to live. That's my practice. That's it. And being able to reach this point is everything I've always wanted, actually. Like this version of me that understood what's going on. This is exactly where I wanted to reach. This was my goal. My goal has always been on finding unconditional love and finding peace in myself. That was it. That was actually the only thing I wanted. Those other things I created out of negative belief systems and like not really getting what's going on and being scared. My truth and the thing that I found and that I was actually the goal for me. I've already found it. This is it. I've already hit my goal. I already am everything I've ever wanted to be, which is I can be happy being myself, and that's it. That's what matters to me. So I'm sharing this so that you get an idea of what's going on here on this channel, because I'm not gonna be here telling you, oh yeah, you can have the job you want, you can have the life you want, you can have whatever you want. But the point is, I want to be a reminder that you are happy and you are loved no matter what you have in front of you. No matter if you've hit this, if you have the stuff you've wanted forever, if you don't have them, whatever it looks like. The point is, we are worthy and we are loved no matter what. And I want to be a reminder of that because I found that truth for myself and I want to share it. I want to share it because I think we're all worthy of hearing this message. And I truly think that if more of us operated from this space where we remind each other of these truths, the less there would be to heal from. That's how I see it. So stick around if you're interested. If you actually made it through, wow, 51 minutes of that, then you are a soldier. You are strong. If you actually made it through that, welcome. Welcome. I am very excited about this journey that we're gonna go on. And now, at least now you know what's going on. Now you know what we're here to do. And I hope you got something positive out of this. And I do hope you stick around. If you don't, just know just know this one thing. You are happy. Well, you are happy. You can be, promise you. But you are loved and you are worthy no matter what. Just take that from me, okay? And now you can go. Bye-bye.